Elliot Rodger, the perpetrator of the 2014 Isla Vista attack.
Hey.
After failing to lose his virginity for 22 straight years, he would decide to have what he called a day of retribution. A day where he takes vengeance on anyone who has ever wronged him, the sex havers and the hot blonde girls.
Tomorrow is the day of retribution.
This day would fail, miserably. I mean, I could probably make an entire video on how horrible his plan was, but to oversimplify it, he'd end up killing his 2 roommates and one of their friends. He would then drive around Isla Vista shooting randomly and ramming people with his car. He would end up shooting and killing 2 random women who weren't blonde and a random man shopping at a deli. He would then be shot by a police officer, after which he would take his own life. In the aftermath, his activity on social media would be discovered, which you can probably already tell is what this video is gonna be about. It was actually really easy to find his accounts. He'd often sign up with his full name and a profile picture of his face. This was probably because of how much of a narcissist he was. Also, a quick warning. In this video, I go over the internet activity of Elliot Rodger. I will read things I don't agree with that might be offensive. This video is not in support of him and is meant purely for documentary purposes. I'm against misogyny and racism. First, let's take a look at his account on the website bodybuilding.com. This website was a forum that was basically the original Looksmaxers. Usually they talk about bodybuilding and weightlifting, but occasionally they'd have some very off-topic discussion. Like in this thread, where they talk about how big their dicks are. Anyone here have an average penis and still get girls? Or am I fucked for life? Average being around 5.5 inches. Elliot Rodger would reply, "The average is 5.5? I thought it was 4. This is very unsettling." I did not think I would be finding out Elliot's size when making this video. Like this video if you're bigger than him. He had such a weird choice of words. He says everything so melodramatically. I don't know if I'd use the word unsettling if I found out my penis was below average. I would probably just be like, damn, that sucks. Elliot would make his own thread entitled, "I'm tired of seeing losers with hot chicks. Seriously, today at my college, I saw this short, ugly Indian guy driving a Honda Civic, and he had a hot blonde girl in his passenger seat. What on earth is up with that? I would climb Mount Everest 10 times just to have a girl like that with me. I drive a BMW coupe, and I've struggled all my life to get a girlfriend. What's wrong with this world? Does anyone else get disturbed and offended when you see sights like this? Someone make sense of this ridiculousness." He says he'll climb Mount Everest for a girl like that, but meanwhile, he's never started a conversation with a girl ever. He would go to Barnes & Noble and sit there reading books for hours in hopes a cute girl would come up to him and start a conversation. This would never happen. Also, he had one job his entire life, and he quit after less than a day because he had to clean toilets. If Elliot actually attempted to climb Mount Everest, he would just expect his guide to carry him the entire way. Most of the replies to his posts were just making fun of him. Buys BMW, expects the world to admire. Jealousy is a terrible trait to have, my friend. Dude's probably fun to be around. The secret to getting girls is to be fun to be around. Seriously. It would probably help if you didn't look like you were still in elementary school. You're just jealous of my beautiful eyes and cheekbones. Racist post reported. I wasn't being racist. I mentioned his race to make a point. I see you got rid of those serial killer-esque videos on YouTube. My parents discovered the videos, so I temporarily took them down. They will be back up in a few days, along with more videos I've filmed. So, for context, if you don't understand, he would post a bunch of extremely creepy videos to YouTube, complaining about girls not wanting him and being a virgin. When his parents found them, probably because he was posting them under his legal name, they would call the police on him for a welfare check, which would scare him into deleting the videos. The videos would become a bit of an inside joke on the forum. He kind of became a lolcow. "I was merely trolling. You must be new to the internets." It did come off like you had a little bit of India hate though. "Well, I find it unjust that a white girl would choose him over me." This guy would reply with Elliot's face, his height, and his weight. He was 5'9" and 135 pounds. Everyone was so mean to him, but I can't say he didn't deserve it. Well, no, I do not get offended, but I also don't struggle with women. He probably has a lot of power and wealth, so she's drawn to that gold and money. Did you even read my post? He was driving a Honda Civic, and an old model at that. I'm not trying to be mean, but the creepy vibe that you give off in those videos is likely the major reason that you can't get girls. So how do you know they were actually seeing each other? I'm trying to convince myself they were just friends or something, so that I can actually get some sleep tonight. Even if they were just friends, it still pisses me off that she is his friend and not mine. This world is ridiculous. I should be the one with the hot girl, Not him. LOL at your jealousy. You're pretty much offended that someone has something money can't buy. A good personality. Pretty pathetic, don't you think? There are plenty of girls that are single that would be great for you, but you're just missing sleep thinking about the one person who doesn't even know you exist. I have a magnificent personality. The girls just never give me a chance to show it to them. They are such hypocrites. They ignore me, but they give all these losers I see at my college a chance. What's wrong with the female gender? They must all be mentally ill. I thought some people would agree with me on here, but you're all just a bunch of trolls. This guy would reply with a picture of some bready bake. I don't know why. Great personality. Yeah, right, bud. I'm sure someone with a great personality would sit at home in jealousy, writing on an internet forum that he's mad some Indian dude gets chicks and he doesn't. This world is so cruel. I can't believe it's gotten to the point where I have to post online about the fact that I can't get girls. This isn't the way my life should be, and this isn't the way I want to appear to the world. I should be the one that gets all the hot girls. That's how I want to appear to the world. He's not even replying to anyone, he's just commenting this on his own post. The fact that you think the world owes you anything, and you should not earn/get it yourself is exactly why you may not make it. Change attitude, and you will make it. While a lot of people made fun of him, he's getting some actually good advice from people. Height, 5'9". What's wrong with that? I hate tall men who think they're better than me just because they were born taller. Who the hell do you think you are? And that Indian guy I saw was 5'7" tops. Bro, you are young. You've got to decide what you want from life. If you really want to be smashing the hottest of the hot girls, then you have to find out what they want from a guy, and then go out and get it. Anyone can feel a little jealous at times, but are you willing to do whatever it takes to get what you want? Don't hate on the Indian, learn from him. Here's my advice. Hot bitches like guys who are worth the shit and have cash. Focus on getting your education so you can get a good paying job. Be smart with your money. Also, hot bitches like guys who dress sharp. If your style isn't on point, seek out help. Get some advice from a stylist. And for the love of God, don't act too thirsty. Bitches can smell desperation on you. Have the patience to see the big picture and wait for your plan to pay off. Never insult the style of Elliot Rodger. I'm the most stylish person in the world. Just look at my profile pic. That's just one of my fabulous outfits. The sweater I'm wearing in the picture is $500 from Neiman Marcus. Find yourself a hot chick OP and stop caring what people do with their love life. If I could have a hotter girl than the one I saw him with, then I suppose I won't care. That's how it should be. If he can get it, then why have I had to struggle my whole life to get it? That is the point I'm trying to make. It's ridiculous and unfair. That's gonna be it for this thread. I had to leave out so many replies making fun of him. I would read them all, but we have so much stuff to look through. Elliot will reply to a thread entitled, "How do you deal with hate?" The original post read as follows. How do you deal with hate? I'm sometimes always angry, thinking about the person that I hate. I think it's affecting my life. Elliot replied, saying, all you can do is embrace it. Let the hatred empower you. He talks like Darth Sidious. The dark thing is, this post was made on May 18th, 2014. His shooting and death happened on May 24th. He had already planned his day of retribution during most of his online activity. When Elliot re-uploaded his YouTube videos, he'd make a thread advertising them. This specific thread he made was for his infamous "Why Do Girls Hate Me" video.
I've experienced nothing but loneliness and misery. And my problem is girls.
The reception this video got was not good for Elliot. Basically, everyone thought he was a future serial killer or school shooter, which he was. The entire thread is just people making fun of him. I can't even read most of the replies to this thread because they call him the F-slur. Like seriously, there's a dozen replies just calling him the F-slur. Renaissance Bro put it well, serial killer in the making. Some people believed he was too pathetic to be a real person, and he was just a really good troll. The moderators would soon close the thread, leading to someone else re-uploading it. I hope you take the advice I gave you in that thread seriously. I wasn't trolling you. What I saw today prompted me to re-upload it right now. What I said in the video needs to be said. I'm such a good catch, but girls don't see it, and yet they give themselves to undeserving men. Hypocrites. So many other men have given me the same advice as you did. I do my best to try and attract girls. Seriously, I don't deserve to suffer like this. You can take the advice and change your attitude, and remain FA. Your choice. This guy's response in the thread is so accurate. Elliot has the mannerisms of Patrick Bateman down to a T, minus the ability to get laid. BRB, I am so magnificent. Don't know why, but I lolled. This belongs in the cringe thread. Get over yourself. Start lifting and grow a pair. Seeing a grown man, not even a teenager mind you, be so pathetic is painful. I'm only saying this because I want you to get better. Life ain't Disney. Girls aren't in need of a prince in shining armor. The fact that you treat them like little princesses shows how little you actually think of them. I do lift. You just don't see it because I choose to wear long sleeves. Dressing nice is better than having bulging muscles anyway. This isn't the fucking Stone Age. Men shouldn't have to look and act like big animalistic beasts to get women. The fact that women still prioritize brute strength just shows that their minds haven't fully evolved. So, it's perfectly acceptable when you are drawn to indicators of evolutionary fitness. But when women do it, it's because they are not fully evolved. Women are not drawn to indicators of evolutionary fitness. If they were, they'd be all over me. Now that's gonna be all his posts on the bodybuilding website. Next, let's take a look at Elliot's Wikipedia account. Now, for some reason, he would obsessively delete the images for the foot job Wikipedia page. Why was he looking at the foot job Wikipedia page in the first place? His Wikipedia account would be permanently banned for this. On the 20th of February 2013, foot job. I'm taking off the pictures for this article because it's very inappropriate for Wikipedia. It's also very offensive. He got offended by a foot job. A few minutes later, someone would re-add the images, to which Elliot would just remove them again. I'm removing these pictures. Why do you keep putting them back on? Did you take these pictures? Wikipedia is not a place for you to flaunt your life. Wait, he's mad at the article because he thinks the editors are the ones in the pictures? I promise you, Elliot, Wikipedia editors are not getting foot jobs. 30 minutes later, someone would re-add the pictures, and Elliot would take them off again. Stop putting these pictures back on. Why do you care so much? Why do you care so much, Elliot? Why is he like obsessing over the fucking foot job Wikipedia page? He would also blank the entire Wikipedia page for Justin Bieber. Yeah, you'll see later, this guy had a really intense hatred for Justin Bieber. The warning Wikipedia gave him for editing the foot job page is pretty funny. February 2013. Your recent editing history at foot job shows that you are currently engaged in an edit war. Elliot Rodger, veteran of the foot job Wikipedia page edit war. He'd also remove pictures from the fellatio page, pictures of his grandfather, George Rodger, and many male models and bodybuilders, presumably out of jealousy. Next, let's take a look at his account on the website puahate.com. This was a forum that was dedicated to hating pickup artists, but it was essentially just the original incel forum, with them usually just talking about how much they hate women. Elliot would be way more misogynistic here than on that bodybuilding forum. I think this thread is the perfect example of how weird everyone was on this forum. God Hates Me would post a thread entitled, Virtual Reality, a Bright Future for Incels. How many of you have heard of the Oculus Rift? I personally own one, and it lives up to the hype, while only being a prototype. The level of eroticism you could experience in a virtual reality would be on a higher level than many of the things you could experience in the real world by being an alpha. J-cups and bubble butts shaking in your face whenever you want. No sense of touch yet, but I bet they'll figure out something eventually. A user going by Mystery would reply, my friend Joseph Matthews is fat, ugly, and has pimples, but yet he's successful with women because of his attractive personality. Elliot Rodger would reply, no, this is a dark future for incels. It will only keep them sedated and prevent the revolution that needs to happen. This is interesting to me. I never knew Elliot considered himself to be an incel. I thought the incel label was just something other people put onto him. Girl texted my friend, this is really random, but do you want to have sex sometime? Fuck my life. Elliot would reply, I bet he smugly bragged about this to you. You should stop being his friend and find a way to get revenge. Elliot would reply to this thread of a guy talking about his college girlfriend with, if you're not a virgin, you shouldn't be on this forum. How dare you come here and brag about your sex life to us incels? It's like going up to a starving man and bragging about the feast you just ate. Elliot would reply to this thread entitled, us incels need to create a better alternate reality in our dreams. If we can't solve our problems, we might as well run away from them. The answer, lucid dreaming. If we can effectively achieve lucid dreaming on a nightly basis, it'll mean we can fuck all the HBB10s we want, have all the meaningful relationships our heart desires, and enjoy what life would be like if you were really in control, as we fly from rooftop to rooftop, cutting off the heads of femmes at will. This is the answer. This is the future. The future is now. I envision a future where incels will go to the hospital to be put in a voluntary coma like lucid dreaming state, where they will live their lives out in ignorant bliss, just like in the Matrix. Yeah, everyone on this website was just as crazy as Elliot was. This post would deeply anger Elliot. No. No. No! If we can't solve our problems, we must destroy our problems. Running away from your problems is the most pathetic thing to do. Don't run away from your problems. Charge right at them and shatter them. If all incels were to start getting sedated by lucid dreaming, Cells will become docile, and there will be no revolution. That is a very dark future, and it's depressing to think about. One day, incels will realize their true strength in numbers, and will overthrow this oppressive feminist system, starting envisioning a world where women fear you. So, for context, around this time, Elliot wanted to be basically the incel version of Hitler. He planned to become president and ban sex, making it so artificial insemination was the only way to have kids. He'd abandoned these plans after like a year because he realized how unrealistic it was. The OP would reply to Elliot, saying, "But no incels to breed would mean only the genetically elite men reproduce, resulting in a decrease in the percentage of the future population who are incel. This is a win-win. Hook me up to the Matrix, I'm ready." Don't you want to punish women for rejecting you? Why settle for dreaming while other men get to experience it for real? Your idea gives women exactly what they want. They want incels out of the way. Instead, incels should punish all women, along with the alphas that women go for. Once that is done, lucid dream all you want. New thread. If you could, would you destroy this website? For now and in eternity? It is a putrid pit of despair, but it does give a view of what the world is really like, what women are really like, and the evils of a feminist society. Every male should read the post here, so that they can be awakened. There are too many delusional males worshipping women who would only spit in their faces. Elliot would make a post entitled, "Saw a black guy sitting with 4 white girls. Today I drove through the area near my college and saw some things that were extremely rage-inducing. I passed by this restaurant and I saw this black guy chilling with 4 hot white girls. He didn't even look good. Then later on in the day, I was shopping at Trader Joe's and saw an Indian guy with 2 above average white girls. What rage-inducing sights did you guys see today? Don't you just hate seeing these things when you go out? It just makes you want to quit life." Never had a girlfriend would reply, "Read my sig. I am gay. Thanks for the fun fact." I don't understand how these guys do it. Here we are suffering on PUA hate when these lesser, undeserving men that I saw today are walking around with hot girls. It doesn't make sense. Elliot had a rival on this website who went by Tiger. You see, Tiger was a full-blooded Asian, whereas Elliot was half British, half Chinese. So naturally, they were heated rivals, getting into debates on which one was racially superior. Once, Tiger would make a thread on if he should get black or white shoes. Elliot would reply with, "Shoes won't help you get white girls. White girls are disgusted by you. Silly little Asian." Tiger would then respond with pictures of white girls who had Asian boyfriends, asking how it made Elliot feel. It's fake. That guy is probably some friend-zoned loser she is using as a guide during her trip to Korea. Tiger would reply saying it's her boyfriend, asking how it made him feel. This would go on for a while. Tiger would send a picture of an Asian man with a white girlfriend, and Elliot would say it was fake, or say the girl was a prostitute. This is the most loser debate ever. Eventually, a user going by The Purifier would then join in on the argument, insulting Tiger. Now, this account is theorized to be Elliot's alt, because the account would frequently shit on Tiger alongside Elliot. In this specific example, he replied only 7 minutes after Elliot. The account also typed just like Elliot and would help him whenever he was losing arguments. You'll see later on, Elliot loved using alt accounts. But since this isn't confirmed to be his, I won't be mentioning it again. Tiger would comment on Elliot's profile, saying, "I want a white girl." So do I. Racist. I'm not racist. I'm just stating the truth. You're just another cuckold. Go suck a black cock. Yeah, they're both equally insane. Can you imagine being the guy that got to call Elliot Rodger a cuckold? He would end up quitting the forums on May 21st, 2014, just a few days before his massacre. The post that led to Elliot quitting read as follows. "You forgot incel, devoid of a father figure, and no doubt comes from a low-banded status incel family." Elliot would reply, "Ha ha 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 ha, you pathetic loser. How dare you insult my family." Skip to 3130 in this video, and you'll see me walking the red carpet at the Hunger Games premiere with my high-status father and stepmom. You're all jealous of my 10 out of 10 pretty boy face. This site is full of stupid, disgusting, mentally ill degenerates who take pleasure in putting down others. That is all I have to say on here. Goodbye. After Elliot did his attack, a thread would be made about it, sharing a link to his final video. Most of the replies would be making fun of him. Some users were worried the attack would get the website taken down, while others were excited, thinking it would help the forum get more users. The forum would end up shutting down a few days after the shooting because of all the negative publicity. This guy's reply to the thread aged horribly. "Nothing will come of this, you sensationalist losers. Certainly not national coverage." The next account of his I want to talk about is his account on teenspot.com, which was basically this website that had teenagers posting pictures of themselves and rating each other. Yeah, the website does sound like a bad idea. Elliot, under the username ElliotR1, would ask others to rate him. Whenever someone gave him a low rating, man or woman, he'd go to their profile and give them a super low rating as revenge. 2.5 out of 10, you're a very ugly girl. After a woman gave him a low score, he'd make a fake alt account named Hot Blondie 17, pretending to be a hot blonde-haired woman. He would compliment himself on that account and harass anyone who insulted him. Originally posted by Hot Blondie 17, I think you're a hottie. Heart, 10 out of 10. Thank you. You have no idea how happy this makes me. If he got a bad rating, he would delete the thread and make a new one. This would cause the website to be spammed with pictures of him. People began to see him as being desperate for attention. This was Elliot's response to that disastrously low rating of a 5 a woman gave him. Okay, that's enough. Whoever the hell you are, guy or girl, can you please tell me why you're being so mean? Just because I said I relate more to my white side, you're giving me a ridiculously mean rating? I'm a handsome and hot guy. Any rating below 7 cannot possibly be legitimate. What, just because I look young for my age means I'm not attractive? Edit. No response. That's what I thought. Typical attention whore. The girl would respond, making fun of him. Eventually, someone would get tired of Elliot's behavior and make a post that would cause him to leave the website. Alright, I'm sorry, but enough is enough. I've had enough of this bullshit. If there's one thing I hate more than a troll, it's a cowardly troll. I'm going to make this revelation to people in the hopes that you learn your lesson about being a total douche on the internet, in the hopes that you change this attitude of yours if you do indeed decide to stay on Teen Spot. I'll just get it out of the way for people right now who won't bother to read everything I need to say. Elliot and Hot Blondie have matching IPs. I confirmed this with a site moderator, which means they are the same person. I think I finally understand the whole point to doing that, now that I've done a little digging. In the first thread you made, Style in Class gave you a 5. You got so mad at her honest opinion, you run to her thread and give her a rating that clearly was a revenge rate. How do I know it was revenge? You were a total dick about it. That's why. I'm not going to read all of it, but it just totally destroys Elliot. Elliot would end up posting an apology, saying, "Okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Please delete your post. Don't do this to me." The user would respond to Elliot, saying he should apologize to the people he insulted, and not him. Elliot would then delete his apology, and never use Teen Spot again. And by the way, this was in 2011. Elliot was 20 years old. He was beefing with teenagers. Something I should mention is, Elliot was complimented by multiple real women on his appearance. Most of his ratings were like a 7 to a 9. Lady X Violinist said, "I think you're cute. Maybe it is your personality, or a bunch of girls are just stupid. It could be because you're wealthy. That is intimidating to other people." 8 out of 10. This girl, Amy the Star, would give him an 8 out of 10 too. But Elliot didn't even acknowledge these girls, instead focusing on the one singular girl that gave him a 5 out of 10. He didn't want a normal, average-looking girl. He wanted a blonde-haired supermodel girlfriend. And even if he did hypothetically get a girlfriend, he'd undoubtedly ruin the relationship with his narcissism. But I guess it's kind of a good thing he ignored these girls because they were probably underage. It was a website for teenagers. Next, we're gonna be taking a look at his Yahoo Answers account. Here are just some of the questions he'd ask. Will I get into trouble if I dump a drink over someone's head? Yesterday I was sitting in Panda Express, drinking a Pepsi, and eating my dinner. Then I see a teenage guy walk in with his girlfriend. He looked about 17, 2 years younger than me, and he had a hot girlfriend with him. I am 19 years old, and I'm still a virgin. Never had a girlfriend, or even kissed. Because of this, I feel a great deal of hatred towards other men who have girlfriends. Whenever I see a guy with a hot girlfriend in public, I get very, very angry. So this insolent young couple starts kissing each other while they are waiting for their food, and it was torturing me. I was boiling with rage. Here I am, a 19-year-old, watching someone 2 years younger than me enjoy my heart's desire right in front of me. This couple then left the restaurant once they got their food and walked down the street. I looked at my cup of Pepsi and saw an opportunity for revenge. I left the store, ran after them, and poured my cup of Pepsi over both of their heads. They were completely drenched. Then I ran back to the store, too excited to pay attention to their reactions. I got a free refill and finished my dinner, a satisfied grin on my face. Ever since that moment, I've been a bit worried that there is some kind of law against doing that. I'm always worried about breaking the rules. I didn't pick a fight with them or anything. I just drenched them in Pepsi. If they tell on me, I won't get in trouble, will I? Yes, Elliot, throwing drinks on people is illegal. I don't know why he specified it was Pepsi like that changes anything. And this is something Elliot actually did, a lot. He would even go around his town and spray happy couples with a super soaker filled with orange juice. It was a struggle for him to go out to eat with friends, because if he saw a happy couple, he'd get into such a rage and want to throw his drink on them. This is a section from his manifesto, wherein he attempts to have dinner at Panda Express with his friend James. While we were eating, some high school kids walked in. James saw them first, and right when he saw them, he said the words, "We're fucked." James knew I would have trouble with them. They were the popular boys who had a flock of pretty girls with them. One of them sat down with two of the girls, putting his leg up on another chair with a cocky smirk on his face. I was livid with rage, and I wanted to pour my drink all over his head. James knew exactly what I was planning to do. We had been through similar incidents before. He made a lot of effort to try and dissuade me from acting on my anger, pointing out that there was a security guard nearby. I did the only other thing I could do. I packed up my dinner and left the restaurant, fleeing in defeat and shame. James soon followed, and we decided to finish our meal at his house. Here are some of his other questions. Guys who are half white, half Asian, what do girls think of them? Would you date one? Why or why not? Can I get a gun in California if I receive SSI benefits? If I receive SSI benefits in California for having mild autism and anxiety, can I still buy a gun? I've tried asking this question before, but I've only received a few rational replies. Can some experts on this subject please help me out here? Sexual opportunities in the Air Force? I am 19 years old and a virgin. I've never touched a girl in my life, yet I think of sex every second of every day. My parents are pressuring me to join the Air Force. I would join, but my concern is that I won't have any opportunities to finally have sex. I hear many people say that there is absolutely no chance to have sex in any branch of the military. The thought of living another 4 years, and if I do join, 4 tough years, without sex, well, it tortures me to even think about. So I ask this to men who have been in the Air Force. Were there any sexual opportunities during your time in the Air Force? Honest, serious answers, please. And for those of you who would say, get a prostitute, I would never get a prostitute, because that defeats the whole purpose of sex. A prostitute would sleep with anybody who pays them. I want to feel special. I want a girl to want me as much as I want her. Here are some of the answers he gave to other people's questions. Why do people like to have sex? I can only imagine that it feels like heaven. Too bad all I do is imagine. Those evil bastards that actually get to experience it are all greedy jerks. Is 5 foot 8.5 inches short for 16? Are you an idiot? That is very, very tall. I am 19 and the same height as you. I fucking hate it when people younger than me are taller. How do I choose which person to date? The best choice is the one who is a nice, quiet gentleman. Is it okay to live alone? It is hell, and it's very sad because some people have no choice but to be alone. Why do so many guys hate Justin Bieber? Because of sluts like yourself who are obsessed with a guy like Justin Bieber who you don't even fucking know. There are so many decent guys out there who try so hard to get one girl. It's not fair. Why do people hate Justin Bieber? Because we find it ridiculous how all these girls are obsessed with him when so many other guys out there have to try so hard just to get one girl. It's unfair and it's unjust. Justin Bieber is a thief who steals all the attention of girls from all the nice, decent guys out there. Man, he really hated Justin Bieber. I'm 16 years old, and since the last 2 days, my right side of my balls started hurting. No one wants to die a virgin, but some are doomed to that fate. It's a cruel world, I know. That doesn't even answer his question. He's just venting to random 16-year-olds. There's a video out there, supposedly showing Elliot Rodger playing Team Fortress 2. It's him versus the rest of the server screaming and insulting each other. His mic audio is really bad, so it's hard to tell what he's saying, and he's deep-throating his mic, so it's hard to tell if it's actually his voice. He also spoke in a fake, evil-sounding voice during all his videos, so we don't really have an example of his actual voice. His friends would say his voice was totally different in his videos.
Hi, Elliot Rodger here. Well, this is my last video.
But the guy in the video, he says he lives in California, specifically Isla Vista, the same town Elliot lived in. He can't go outside due to an injury, which is consistent with Elliot. At that time, he had a broken ankle, but the guy in the video says the injury was his wisdom teeth got taken out. But if this really is Elliot, he could just be lying, because the actual story of how he broke his ankle was pretty embarrassing for him. I have an entire video on how he broke his ankle, if you want to watch it. The guy also says he goes to college at Santa Barbara, which is where Elliot went to college too. And the guy is also a virgin.
Okay, yeah, I'm a virgin. That makes me inadequate.
If this isn't Elliot, he must have a twin brother. So, if this really is Elliot, what can we learn about him from this video?
Dude, I jack off the ponies. My Little Pony.
Oh, thanks for letting us know. I wonder what pony was his favorite. Yeah, we can't really learn anything interesting from this video. He's just shitposting the entire time. Lastly, I want to take a look at his internet search history. Now, unlike Cruz, it's not really embarrassing. The police only released his searches relating to knives and Nazis. I know for sure he had some weird stuff in his internet search history. I just wish they released more of the embarrassing stuff. Quick silent kill with a knife. How to kill someone with a knife. You really had to Google that? Did Adolf Hitler have a girlfriend? Adolf Hitler's childhood. I've never had a female friend. Nazi anime. Guy who watches Nazi anime? Why haven't I ever had a female friend? Are there any knives so sharp that if you touch it, you bleed? Heinrich Himmler. Roommate takes very long showers. Young people are all mean. Joseph Goebbels has a Jewish name. Modern torture devices. Spanish Inquisition torture devices. If Hitler was born today. Blood elves or Nazis. Heinrich Himmler. Urban Dictionary. Reincarnation of Hitler. If you were Adolf Hitler. He also searched for Philosophy of a Knife, which is a documentary/horror film about Unit 731. Unit 731 was a covert, biological, and chemical warfare research and development unit of the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II. It is infamous for conducting lethal human experimentation on thousands of Chinese prisoners. Basically, they tortured Chinese people and said it was for research. Now, to explain his fascination with Unit 731, he was half Chinese himself, but he hated himself for that. He would wish he was born white to fit in with the cool kids at school and attract more female attention. He also saw himself as being racially superior to Asians, and whenever he saw an Asian man with a white girl, he would get extremely angry. He would also lie on dating profiles, saying he was actually part Japanese. This is like the equivalent of Jewish Nazis. I think that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I've been really sick for the past week, and maybe you noticed, or maybe not, I don't know. I am in great pain recording audio for this video. I'm really bad at writing outros for videos, so I usually just end them very suddenly.